Hey guys, Marcy Double Diamond. I am here with some tax tips. If you guys were at, I think it was the last monthly team meeting, I just went over a sheet that I had made with tax stuff. And I will figure out where I typed it and saved it and upload it to the team page. But I also want to do a video. Well, I don't want to, but it's been requested a few times, talking about these tax tips. And these are just basic, generalized, you can use these for any business, home-based business tips. I'm not going to go into real specific things or even go into some of the things I do and write off because I always suggest you talk to your personal tax person. Maybe even get an accountant as you reach certain levels with the company and things like that. But this is just basic general idea for you guys to start saving stuff and being smart business-wise. So when tax time comes, you have some stuff to claim. First and foremost, a big one that we don't think about, but gas mileage. If you are driving to a team meeting, to a one team, one mission, to meet with a potential DT, to meet and have coffee with a loyal customer, to take a loyal customer a wrap, any of those things can be wrote off. If you are going to the post office to mail wraps or a sample of greens or things like that, that can be wrote off too. You just need to keep track of your mileage. There's apps on your phone you can get. There's you can just have a notebook that says like, okay, here's today's date, and I had this mileage when I left, went to the post office, when I came back my mileage said this. However works for you, and that there's some sort of proof that you can say if you were to be audited, here I went to the post office on such and such date, this was the mileage that incurred, things like that. So, keep track of things like that. If you're having a wrap party, you get to keep track of that, and say you go to the grocery store and buy water for that. Your trip to the grocery store, you get to write off that mileage. You'll also save your receipt for the water because that obviously is business related and things like that. So yes, your mileage. If you're going to, like, say I'm going to Walmart to grab stuff for the team meeting, I need supplies for that, writing off the trip. So those are just some general. If you have other questions as far as mileage, feel free to shoot me a message or about any of these things. I will give you the best advice possible. And yes, I love taxes. Home office. You guys are in my home office. This is a portion of my home that is set aside for my business, whether it's photography, now it's at work stuff, whatever. So I write off this portion of my house. How that's figured is they take the square footage of your whole house, apartment, whatever you're in, and as far as I know, as long as it doesn't necessarily have to have like separate walls and whatever, and you can see obviously my office is enclosed. If that weren't the case, could you block it off from the rest of your house? Even like the bifold, trifold like door things, like somehow if you got audited, could you block it off? So it's office space and nothing else, or a spare bedroom. So I used to have an office upstairs before Maxton, whatever. So they take the square foot, your room is 8 by 10, whatever you have going on, and they just divide that by the whole square foot of your house or apartment. So then they say, okay, 20% of your living space is office. So 20% of your consumer's bill, your property taxes, mortgage, whatever. It's all a write-off because you're basically renting this space from yourself. Insurance, whatever, all of that stuff. It does add up. It's worth making the time and taking the deductions and doing all of that. And the same thing with the gas. The gas, you get to claim 55 cents for every mile drove, which doesn't seem like a lot, but like for my photography business, it adds up like crazy. Supplies that you might use, like I said, if you go and you buy wraps for a party, if you're buying saran wrap, signage, anything like that, it's a write-off. If you are buying something for a team member or a loyal customer, whatever, something like that, it's also a write-off. If you sell a wrap, you get to, that's where it gets tricky. because yes, you paid for it, so you're going to keep track of what you paid for the wrap, but you also have to claim the money that came in. So say you paid, I think it figures out like we paid $12 or $13 a wrap, you sell it for $25, there's like $13 profit. So again, that's counted as income. Which again, I can explain that more. This is just kind of a general whatever. If you need a better explanation, maybe call me, we'll talk on the phone. Like fab wrap, tape measure, saran wrap, all that sort of stuff. Like I said, party supplies, if you're one that gets crazy and like you want balloons at your wrap party or vendor event, things like that, it's all a tax write-off. If you, I'll talk about it in a second. Okay, fees. So we have our $20 monthly internet or website fee, write that off. So that's a nice little chunk that'll be taken right off of your income at the end. Your renewal fee, once you're here with It Works for a year, you do have to pay to renew, and it's $35. Pay it, you're gonna write it off. My dog is running around driving me nuts. Lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Fee, if you're paying a fee to transfer your commission, I think it's like $1 to do direct deposit. If you want to keep track of it, by all means keep track of it. I don't know about if you have the card or different things like that. Any sort of fees like that. If you get a separate bank account for your business, I know a few people have. I know I have one for my photography, and it's $7 a month they charge me. So I keep track of that because, you know, it's over $70 a year that I get a claim to write off as a business expense, and every dollar counts. Your internet and your phone bills. I know my tax guy says, Marcy, what portion of your phone do you use for business use? Well, between my 3 jobs, I use my phone a lot for business. So I just tell him a percent, and then that percent of my cell phone bill gets taken, claimed as a business expense. For everybody, it's going to be different, and sometimes you might have to prove it. So don't say, oh, it's a 90% business. Well, if Uncle Sam would like to know more, you're going to have to be able to prove it, and there are ways to prove it, and you don't want to have to do it because it looks like a ton of work. Your internet, you know, at your house, things like that. Again, it's kind of the same. Like I use 50% or whatever amount you would like to say for business use. Postage, again, when you're shipping samples, prizes, somebody buys a wrap, you're sending somebody a magazine, keep track of it, write it all off. When you're doing events like the One Team One Mission, it's $11 to get in there, or like the Florida event, the ticket was I think $60 or something like that. Or if you just want to go see a different professional development speaker, things like that are education. They're making you a better business person. You get to write off your ticket fee, and just, you know, keep track. We all get a page printed off, or print off a page and just kind of file it. Like that's my filing. Oh, that is just every receipt from everything under the sun for 2 businesses. If you buy books, I'm big on buying books. Up in my corner, there's a few. The rest are in my bedroom, so I can read them. I write off my books because it's, you know, growing this up here, maybe something in here, you know, getting me to work my business better. Write it off. If you were to buy an audio tape on Amazon to listen to, like all of that, it's, you know, tax deductible. Advertisements, when you buy your Blitz cards, magazines, if you buy ad space in a flyer of some sort, or if you pay to promote on Facebook, maybe we'll talk about that at some point. If you buy magnets for your car or a wrap for your window, all of that is 100% a write-off. If you buy apparel, woohoo, it's 100% a write-off. That's why a lot of us are wearing all of our clothes, because then you can go shopping and you write it all off. It's totally perfect. And you're growing your business. 2 birds, 1 stone, tax write-off. If you rent a booth, or if you're at another event and you have like a table, things like that, whatever they pay you to rent the space is a write-off. Your mileage to get there, whatever you're giving away as samples, you're writing it off. If you buy like greens to go and you're giving them all away as samples, write them all off. Charitable donations. I know a lot of us gave money to Kelsey. If you have a checking account, write a check, because then it can be traced back. If Uncle Sam's like, oh, you gave X amount of dollars, can you prove that? Oh yeah, it's on my bank statement, or, you know, whatever. If you can't do that, try to ask me how you're going to pay, and like, you know, we'll try to come up with something to keep track of how that works. It feels good to give back. It also feels good to have tax write-offs. Again, 2 birds, 1 stone. Love it. Travel expenses. If you are going somewhere, like a bunch of us just went to Florida and it was strictly for It Works. There was no way I would want to go to Florida for anything not It Works related, right? Yeah. So we get to write off 100% of our flight, hotel, car rental, things like that. You know, the ticket to the event, everything. 50% of our meals we can write off, because, you know, 50% you probably need to survive, 50% you maybe not, we're gonna be out to eat all the time, whatever. But 50% of your meals always. If you meet a potential DT or you have dinner with me, 50% will be wrote off as a business expense, because we're talking business. And 50% of entertainment, as long as work happens before and or after. So maybe we go to a concert and we talk business after with a potential DT. These are real legit rules for any home-based business or business in general. How far you want to push them personally is totally up to you. It's your discretion. I'm just, again, telling you these are like rules you can find in any book, on Google. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I just merely typed what it said. How you interpret it and how you want to do these things is at your disclosure. And if you have any other cool tax tips you want to add to the video or add to the thread underneath it or talk to me about, feel free. I hope this kind of gets people started. Just save all your receipts, guys. Just save them all, get a binder, find a spot on your desk and just stash them. January will come and I'll just throw all those papers and make it rain receipts and rip my hair out. Like I said, we're all making money, or, you know, at least starting to make some money. We want all of these deductions because it will be very, very helpful. So yes, I hope this helped a bit. Love you guys.